Yeah, this is such a good question. So, the pressure to bounce back or not gain too much weight during pregnancy can be really harmful. It often leads people to ignore hunger cues, restrict food, or obsess over the scale when their bodies are literally building a human from scratch, like you're building organs or recovering from birth. So, the pressure, especially, is intense for women who already exist in a bit larger bodies or are part of communities that face like that compounded stigma. So when food becomes about control instead of nourishment, it can trigger anxiety, disordered eating, and shame, you know? So in my practice, I like to help clients shift the focus away from weight and toward healing, energy, and how they feel. Because when people start tuning into their bodies with curiosity instead of judgment, everything changes and nutrition becomes very empowering, especially during this phase of like going from fertility to postpartum. Nutrition should be more empowering and not restricting, and kind of just having to tune out that noise that we often hear like on social media about bouncing back or not gaining too much weight. Weight gain in pregnancy is expected. We just need to make sure we're not overdoing it. And this is again like where I educate my clients to share how nutrition is important and how we can work together to find the right food so that they're gaining a healthy amount of weight without like overdoing it, since that's a concern. And also too, not gaining enough weight is also a concern. So surprisingly enough, so just always just keeping them informed that weight gain is expected and it's normal. We just have to make sure it's reasonable. So
I didn't think of the not gaining enough weight situation, but probably you've probably seen it. I'm starting to work with prenatal and postnatal clients, and even communicating with them of like, did you hydrate today before we start this workout? Did you eat enough today? Do you have a snack for afterwards? And I
yeah.
think for them, I think it's kind of like the, oh yeah, I was just like, yeah, even you still have to have that, you're feeding yourself, you're feeding the baby, you have to keep that momentum going.
Yeah, I actually just recently had a conversation with someone on a discovery call who was on a weight loss journey before finding out she was pregnant. It was unplanned, unexpected. And, even just hearing her speak, she was so concerned about gaining weight, but she also wasn't eating enough. And then she was wondering also why she's constantly feeling nauseous, why she's having these cravings for salt, why she feels so low energy, but she's like forcing herself to go, go, go. And I had to remind her that, you know, weight loss and pregnancy are very different mindsets. And I know that you may have been in a calorie deficit when you were on your weight loss journey, but right now, when we're in pregnancy, we need to change our mindset that we're nourishing both you and baby. Food is going to help manage your symptoms. Make sure that baby's getting enough what they need to support their growth and their development so that you both can feel healthy and feel good. So again, it is definitely a major mindset shift. And I always try to gently remind them, like, you know, not to kind of obsessed about like other things that can cause unnecessary like anxiety and overwhelm.